All right, so I was watching the Young Turks earlier, and I'm not editing that out. I was watching the Young Turks earlier, and it was talking about this crazy person, this I don't know, doctor or whoever the hell he was. Well, he wasn't a doctor. He was like some kind of geneticist or some shit like that. But he was unofficial in everything that he did, as he injected herpes viruses into 8 people. And I was telling Sidra about this earlier, and he injected 8 people on 2 different days in sets of 4. And while they had maybe the mouth sore herpes, he would inject them with a different one, more like the genitals, and then vice versa. So, that's what had happened. And then you find out that the guy did it. There was no government regulation. There was no kind of oversight from his company. They didn't even know he was doing it. And so you get these people that have accepted his offer to test this. And at first it's like, okay, well, they got tested, and then they get a extra herpes. And my thing was, well, you don't want to mix herpes. I would say you get 2 family members that get together and make a 3rd family member, and then you might have some airborne shit going on. We don't need airborne herpes. Now, most likely that is impossible, but I would never ever rule it out, because freakish stuff always happens. Then you find out that he did this at some sleazy hotel or something. It doesn't matter if it's an upscale hotel. He did it in a non-medical area because he would get sued, fired, imprisoned, and all of that, and lose whatever license he got if he was caught. Which most likely, and he's dead now. Forgot to tell you that the guy's dead now, but he died of cancer. This. So these people, at first you feel sorry for them, and then you're like, well, they went to some kind of hotel, and they should have known. It's like they was asking for it. I mean, if someone says like the Botox people, they went to get Botox and they was doing it and it was all right. Then they started getting sick, started getting ill. Their faces were all disfigured and stuff, and they was getting it from some dude from a basement. It's not like this dude had, some kind of license or anything. He didn't have anything like that. He just did it. He knew where to get the illegal stuff from. He knew where to get and it was harmful. It wasn't licensed. It wasn't anything. So people are desperate. And before I go on with something else, you got anything to say?
This goes back to being your own advocate. People go to doctor's offices, legal, licensed physicians, and their doctors tell them things about their health. And oftentimes, because people don't have, the education of physicians, they won't say anything. They won't protest, or they won't ask questions. They feel intimidated, and they feel like they don't have a right to ask questions about their own health. But you have to be your own advocate, because no one else is going to do it for you. Just like you're going to advocate for your child's health or your spouse's health, you got to advocate for your own health. So when these people pulled up to the hotel where they're supposed to get this done, someone should have been like, this might not be a good idea. Hotels are where you go to sneak off and bang. It's not where you go to get shot up with herpes. It was some, although sense is not common, there was some sense missing in these people to go and be like, this is all good. I don't want to say that they had it coming, but they weren't thinking. They weren't thinking, and they were not their own best advocate. And for whatever reason, whether it was fear, whether it was lack of knowledge, whether it was ignorance, and now they're in a position where, they got to suffer with this additional type of herpes. And it sucks because the person who did it cannot be held accountable because he's dead. His race is over.
My thing is, and this goes back to Sidra saying you got to be your own advocate. That's true. You got to be your own advocate. And when you go to the doctor's office, yes, you need to speak up. They can't help you if you can't talk to them. But as she said, you go in and sometimes you're intimidated. These degrees and doctors. I know I'm about to spew some poison here. I know I'm about to. But going from my experience of listening to various tales from various nurses and apprenticeship programs, doctors, the ones that's made it, making money, they have such a sense of arrogance and hubris and entitlement to whatever they do and think they know that they do not allow you to be your own advocate. I've come across a nurse. I don't even know if she was a full-on nurse. And she had that hubris, that sense of, I'm over you. And this was over some damn Visine. I needed to get my eyes, cleared out. And she said, don't put anything in your eyes that's not sterile. And I asked her, well, what about water? And she just repeated herself. And I'm like, but I don't understand. And I'm asking her because, and I said it then, watch the commercials and hear the doctors in poison control, they say, wash your eyes out with water. So if water is not safe, then what do I do? And she gives me that sideways look. Almost like, why you challenging me? Why you got to have all these kind of words and stuff? And I'm just sitting here like, man, I already didn't like her from crap she was doing earlier. But doctors, I've got a doctor. And I don't know if he's looking out for me or he's just doing his job. There's a big difference. Because when you look out for somebody, you go through all the measures to make sure they're going to be okay. You do what you can to ensure that that person has longevity. You don't just give the rigmarole. You treat them as if they are you and you want to live and you want to be cured. And doctors give this sense of, I'm right, and no matter what you say, you're wrong. And that puts a strain on you. It puts a strain on anybody. And when you go in and you talk to your doctor and you see your doctor looking stuff up on Google, when you see your doctor is not going to listen to you, when you feel that your words mean nothing to your doctor, you end up spreading the word of that experience, and it will spread. Word of mouth spreads faster than the internet. It does.
You also have to understand that you have the power to go find another doctor. There are lots of doctors out there. Just because you have one, you can go find another one.
It's sort of, doing that is almost the same as, you could say there are lots of Democrats out there that are good politicians. But the problem is if they're all establishment, but they're good people at home, you can have a beer with them. You can watch TV. You can talk about Friends, Frasier, The Flash, Arrow, House of Cards, Game of Thrones. You can talk about life and stuff, and this sounds awesome. They're great people. They're great parents. But politically, they have ruined everything that you could possibly hope for. So doctors are pretty much the same thing, just like any other human being. Yes, they're a doctor, and you could go to get a second, a third, and fourth, and fifth opinion. The problem is, how many, if the doctors were honorable to the naked practice of their profession, you wouldn't have to get a second or third or fourth or fifth opinion, because his or her opinion would be, this is what it is. This is what I think it is. This is what we're going to do. And I will keep doing research to figure this out and help you. Why? Because if I can help you, then that means anyone else that come in with this, I can help. And
see, I'm not talking about getting a new doctor for a second and third opinion. I'm talking about you see a doctor and they may have their medical thing down, but they could be an asshole. They make you feel like you can't communicate. They make you feel like you're a little person that shouldn't have anything to say about your medical care. They can be dead on balls accurate with everything they're telling you. But if you're not comfortable, you should not stay with that doctor. That's what I'm talking about. And a lot of people don't realize that they can do that. It's not shopping around till you hear what you want to hear from the right doctor. It's about being comfortable enough to be able to say, look, my anus is itching. I need you to help me.
Okay, look. There's some people out there, they're deathly afraid. And what they're afraid of is, if I go to another doctor, he or she is gonna pull up my record. They're gonna see who my previous doctor was, or whatever you want to call him. And then that means they might have to contact that person. That previous doctor can see who you have transferred to. Doctors protect themselves at all costs, just like any politician, just like any gang member, just like any informant or police officer or family. They protect each other. That's the whole point. And people know that. And it is scary. It is real scary for people to go out there, hunt for another doctor to help them, and all of a sudden think that they're going to be okay. People are so afraid of doctors hurting them, they aren't going to go to anybody new. They want to. For mine, I've wanted to. I've wanted to go to a different doctor many times. We went to the one out at Duke. We went to the one out at UNC. My doctors they didn't know what was going on. They can't help me. Now, they can prescribe anything to me. And that's the problem. They can prescribe, and that's what they want to do. Take this pill, take that pill. If you offer a doctor, what if I used this vitamin or this herbal remedy or these household remedies that I've researched online? What do? You can see that look on their face like, and then they say, I wouldn't recommend, using those things because we don't know how well they work. And I'm like, okay, you don't know how well these household remedies, you don't know how these herbals are going to work or anything like that. But yet you can prescribe an opioid to me. You can prescribe things to me that will hurt my liver if I don't do X, Y, and Z perfectly. People are afraid of that, and they know that mess. That's why they don't trust doctors, because doctors tend to prescribe more than try to heal. Because as they said since the 60s, the money is not in the cure. It's in keeping your ass sick.
Here's something else that some people don't understand. Doctors don't find cures for stuff usually. Not medical doctors, not ones that are checking for the runny noses and the hemorrhoids. Scientists find cures for doctors. Research physicians, someone who doesn't see patients every day. If you're seeing patients every day and treating, bum knees and cuts on the head, how the hell are you going to have time to research the cure for cancer? You're not.
See, that's a valid point. But that's not the typical mindset. The typical mindset is, I go to see doctor. Doctor knows stuff. Doctor fix my stuff. Doctor fix me. I see doctor, doctor fix me. If doctor no fix me, then what's wrong with doctor? It's very simple in people's heads.
They need to stop seeing things so simply, because the world is not black and white. It's not, I'm broke, you fix me, all's well, I break me again. That's not how things work.
Yes, there's a lot of nuance, a lot of depth to things. And yes, people aren't going to think about that too much yet.
People aren't going to think. Ergo, problem.
Okay, then, so how do you get people to think?
You have to promote a thinking mindset. That starts early on, and that's a whole lengthy conversation.
Okay, so these are adults. These are people. Now let's just get straight up to it. These are let's just say you have no more excuse level adults. So what do you say, about 32 and up?
Yeah.
No more excuses. So how do you get those people who are sort of stuck in the middle? They don't know, the doctor isn't helping. They're prescribing pills that's messing me up, and I need more pills on top of those pills. I go and get other opinions, and then they say, oh, that's not it. And that's not it. And that's not it. And that's not it. And then you get one where you either got to go out of the country, or you find that one doctor that has no problem saying, do what you can so long as it is safe. Or, I know that this can help you, but you're going to be messed up for a while before you see any results. But it will work. And they have to search like a needle in a 20,000 ton haystack. All right. How do you get these people to think better, to know that they have options? And that the doctor isn't the one that come up with the cure. The doctor isn't the one that does the research, finds a cure or anything of the sort. How do you get them to know, okay, it's the researchers, and you need scientific research backed up to make sure that this information gets to the doctors, ergo the doctors can research it from them and then give it to you. But it's a cycle, wouldn't you say?
I suppose it's a cycle, but it takes an inquiring mind, and unfortunately everyone doesn't have it. I mean, if you go to Burger King and eat a burger and it makes you sick, I'm not going back there no more. I go to McDonald's. But if you go to a doctor and they give you something that makes you sick, you go back. And they go back. I mean, essentially, in this case, it's basically the same situation. You know,
so what do? I mean, the doctor's messing you up and they claim they're trying to help you, but they keep giving you pills that's only making you worse and worse. And if you go to get a second opinion, that doctor's going to say, oh, I see you have seen this one. So now I can't help you any further than they have because I have the same material, the same research, or whatever the hell they'll come up with, or what is factually there.
That's assuming that that's going to happen. If you transfer from one doctor's office to the other, the doctor that you're going to see does not go and get on the phone and call your old doctor unless you're like a drug seeker. I just need some opioids, man, for the pain. My pain is 10 every day, nonstop. I need 30 pills a day, 30 pills tomorrow. Okay, yeah, they might call your old doctor then. But otherwise, you get your medical records transferred from A to B, and they treat you as a new patient and keep on stepping.
So you can unequivocally say, proof positive, one doctor doesn't contact another or your previous. Because I know mine has.
There's got to be some extenuating circumstances. Now, records are going to get transferred from one place to the other. But if we're dealing with primary care, basic, annual checkup, runny nose, or got a cough, and you go from one to another, then, like I said, unless you're a drug seeker, most likely not going to call and trying to speak to your old doctor personally. Now, if you got a specialist and you got some kind of rare form of cancer, and you suddenly decide to go see a different doctor in the middle of it, it would behoove your new physician to figure out how far they went with you so they can see where they're going to go. Now, I guess there are doctors, just like there are in either profession, who are in cahoots to do shit, but you can either operate assuming that they all are or that they're all not. I don't know. It depends on whether you're a glass half empty, half full person. I don't know.
A lot of people out there will probably be real pissed off at us not bringing up, the price gouging and opioid epidemic and all this other stuff. Look, that information is out there. All right. We all know it's an opioid epidemic and doctors are prescribing opioids. They're prescribing it when there are alternatives that are illegal, because if you use those alternatives, then the drug manufacturers, Bayer and Purdue and other places like that, they are going to lose their mind, and you will lose. Okay? They are the mega conglomerate when it comes to this mess, and they are making these pills. They are making the opioids. They are pushing them onto us through our doctors. Our doctors have the right and the ability to lobby themselves for medical marijuana or just the freedom of having weed in general. They have the freedom and the right to do so. Under the Hippocratic Oath, basically, they are obligated to do so. However, nothing's going to change because there's no money to fight back against the politicians who are taking said money from these big pharmaceutical companies.
The doctors are working in the system that they're in.
But see, you can say that for everyone and anyone. And if you're working, if you use that excuse, they're working within the system, that's just the way it is, or that's how it is right now, then it doesn't change because there's
the ones who can change it are us. Not the doctors as doctors, but the doctors as people. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're voters just like we are. They can advocate for someone with progressive views just like we do.
They could, but okay, look, they could. Now, a lot of doctors out there They're progressive. In my mind, to be a healer, you have to be progressive. It's just sensical to me. If you're going to be a healer, you have to be progressive. You have to be forward thinking. And you're right. It is us. We, in general, we become these doctors. We become these physicians. We become these clinic heads. We're the ones that build clinics or whatnot. We have the ability to simply cast a single solitary vote, but while individually, it also in mass that we can also do this and get our agenda across. The agenda of I want to live, not I want to live wealthy, because that ain't happening for the mass majority of this country. You're not going to live wealthy, but you at least should live. And if you aspire to live wealthy, you're going to miss the idea of being able to live. I think what's best for everyone to do is to always be upfront with your doctor. Let them know what's going on. Explain your illness. Explain your level of pain. Explain your symptoms. Listen to your doctor and urge your doctor. If you feel your doctor's not listening to you, urge them to chill, calm, and listen. Because nothing gets done if the communication lines are only one way.
And if they don't want to listen, find a new doctor. You're not going to let some person on the street come at you sideways for no reason. Why are you going to let the doctor do it? Just because they're your doctor? They can't talk to you any kind of way.
We're taught that a doctor is an authoritarian figure. They know stuff. They have this mass education. They've got this huge bill for their college or whatnot. So they know what they're talking about, and they come across like, my world, my way, deal with it. What's your problem? What's your symptoms? Okay, this is how I'm going to treat you. Shut the hell up. Get out.
That's why if you find a doctor and you don't like how they're talking to you, find another doctor. Just like if you got a man or a woman and you don't like how they're talking to you, find a new man or woman.
But the life you've built together should really be in consideration.
If they go upside your head enough, you ain't gonna be around to consider nothing.
But the diamond rings, the convertibles, the 401k, the pension, the retirement, the children. You have to think of the children.
What children gonna do? They got a dead parent. Mom's dead because dad killed her. Dad's dead because mom ran him over with a car. You might think about the children then?
Well,
no.
Children are the future and they shall be there.
That's all you got, huh?
I got nothing else. I got nothing.
You have to be your own best advocate. If you buy a set of tires and you drive down the road and one explodes, you're not going to be like, well, the tire man know more about tires than I do. I'm just going to drive on my broke ass tire. No, you're going to raise hell and go back. I just spent $400 on tires that exploded. Bing, bang, boom, fix it.
I ain't gonna spend $400 on a tire. You done fucked up. I'm just saying.
Well, if you have a big vehicle, you might need big tires.
Get a smaller vehicle. Trade that big vehicle in for 2 smaller vehicles.
But that's my whole point. You have to be your own advocate. You wouldn't take it any kind of things said to your kid. You wouldn't let somebody talk all terrible to your kid if you got, any kind of nuts on you. No, you got to be the same way for yourself, because you can't be here for the children if you're dead.
I think that pretty much sums it up. So don't be afraid of second opinions. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. And don't let them talk to you sideways. You as an individual owe it to yourself to do what it takes to survive, to live, to have a good and comfortable life. And you can't do that if you're letting someone else dictate your life for you. So when you go into the doctor, you keep in mind, this is my life. It's in my hands. And I am needing your help to sustain said life. So with that, this is Sidra Kennedy and Sidra Owens for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.